Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and it has been a Friday. We have been packing, we've been cleaning. They're coming to take pictures of my house tomorrow. It's going up for sale. If you'd like to move to Edmond, Oklahoma, I have a lovely home. Please buy it. And there's a huge sale on my online store because if you guys buy it, I don't have to pack it when I move. So check out the link in the description for my eBay store, 30% off if you buy 3 items or more, because I want to move it all and I want it to come to your house, not mine. So it's Friday. We always grab something red, put on something red because we RED, remember everyone deployed. And we want to thank all our servicemen and women for all the work that they do and their amazing families for supporting our nation and keeping us safe. So happy Red Fridays, everybody. We're going to see what Clint Westwood has to say right after this. Give us a like and share the video. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday, Westwood. What you drinking?
Happy Friday. Drinking the nectar of the gods, I guess, sucking the marrow out of life. No, anyway, I'm drinking some beer that Paulie P left behind. This pretty good stuff. It's got to stay refrigerated. It can't ever get warm, so it's always got to be in a cooler on the way here. And I like it when he shows up with this stuff. And he left it behind, and I figured I'll drink some beer tonight. I got a lot of beer in the fridge, and every time I go live,
taking it easy after last night.
I'll drink a lot of beer. I know that. So it's just more paste. I'll tell you what, though, that rum that you and Charlie brought.
I know. I'm gonna have to get you some more. That was.
I got into that, and it went down so easy, and I'm like, man, drank a lot of rum last night, son.
It wasn't Guthrie beer. It was like
I said it was in Guthrie.
Woka or something.
Yeah. We
woke. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It was Oklahoma distilled rum, and it was like, it sounded like Satoshi, but it was like something Toshi, Wolf Toshi. It had it was a really cool bottle. It was something that I think my friend Bruce had given me for an event or something.
Yeah, it was his red dirt brother, Obahoshi.
What was
Obahoshi?
Obahoshi. That's hilarious that it sounds like.
Did you see what was on the back?
No.
A little rabbit.
I can't. A rabbit?
Yeah, it's like a psychedelic rabbit. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's hard to see here.
I love a rabbit.
You can see the head and then the ears going back that way.
The wolf and the rabbit.
Looking that way. Yes, it's inland style rum. Inland style, not island style. Prairie Wolf Spirits.
Landlocked like Oklahoma. Yes. Both those animals. That kind of reminds me, I have a question. I would love to know your thoughts on this. And I would love to know everyone in the chat's thoughts on this. Andy was showing this new coin that he said he's never seen. Let me go pull it up on Miles Franklin. So there is okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's this coin. It's a new coin out of the UK. Gold.
Does it have a king on the back of it? Then I don't want it.
There might be. He doesn't show the face. On one side is a eagle and a lion. Okay. And on the other side is a dude, and he shows like this much of the dude's face, not the dude's face.
Okay.
And then on Twitter, there was a guy who says that he is RFK, Kali Yoga, something, whatever.
Okay.
And he
RFK
says,
or JFK? Like
I'm sorry, JFK.
JFK Jr. or JFK?
No, senior.
It's like
Yeah, but
1917, so we're going on,
he's about
107 years.
107.
Okay.
But he says that he is the king of UK, like England
I
and
got you.
Scotland.
I was
all
gonna say,
this.
didn't he have like Scottish roots or something? I don't know.
Oh, so maybe.
Doesn't Trump have some Scottish roots?
So okay, so I'm trying to figure out, and you know how Trump always shows like the end of that video that I love, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like walking with a lion.
Yeah.
And he does the Trump
Yeah,
walk and all that. And yes.
Like
And
you're milking cows.
well, or that. I don't know. That's not as not as
But I used to do that, so I know a little something about it.
okay. Oh, that's true. You did that in high school.
I know, and now I'm utterly famous.
You're utterly famous. Dun dun dun. Dad jokes.
Okay, proceed. I know.
Dad
Terrible.
jokes for Westwood.
Terrible.
Okay, so let me see if I can find this coin because I'm so curious what everybody thinks. And Andy is, so smooth. And he's like, "Oh, and I've never seen this coin before." And he just casually mentions it. I'm like, "Ooh, you got all my spidey senses going."
Yeah, never before, huh?
Do not even talk like that to me because that makes me go crazy.
It's like I've never heard of that whiskey or that cigar.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Coin. Is it on here?
Come on, Westwood.
I don't see it.
Go for it.
This is so cute. A little bunny coin. I love that. Australian. I do not see it on the gold coins. So it was on JC's channel.
Let me go check it out.
I wonder where.
I could go back and watch the video, capture it, mark it, timestamp it. Oh, man.
His most recent video. I wonder if I could. I mean, it'd probably take me too much time. Anyway.
It ain't worth it.
Go back and watch.
Somebody in the chat. Little project.
Every Tuesday, Andy does a video with Jean-Claude. And he did it, and it's at the very, very end of the video. So just go to the end of the video. I mean, it's an amazing video. You can watch all of it, all this. So I am wondering if it's the same. Okay, then let me show you. Like, is it okay, then there's the whole Lady Diana, maybe married to Trump, and Melania is really just his bodyguard. Or Trump is like Barron is really Trump time traveled and here to guide Trump, and Melania's.
He's like, I mean, you look at Barron. He's huge.
He's huge.
I can't. I mean, it's alien and otherworldly when I look at him. I mean, it's just.
But so is Eric. Like, did you see how tall Eric is?
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, you think Trump is tall, but then it's like you see JD Vance next to him. I thought he was only like 5'9". I don't know what happened there, but you've got that situation. You've got the Trump boys are pretty tall. I mean, Melania's not short.
No.
But Barron,
she's a supermodel, for God's sakes. And then she's putting on 6-inch heels. So, like, she's as tall as Trump.
Yeah.
So she's probably 6 foot without. And then she puts 6-inch heels on. So then she's as tall as Trump. Like, I mean, 5'2" me, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
It's not in my wheelhouse. Apparently, I have not recreated myself enough times or whatever.
Oh, I got you. Well, it's like, I don't know. There's something about, if you're that tall, it's like, at some point when you get like wobbly out in the wind and stuff, like big buildings and, being up that high, it's like driving a semi, or something.
I don't think Melania has a problem with that.
I don't know. I'd like to be closer to the ground. I don't like to be up there. I'm more,
She's a complete badass. I'm not worried about it. Where is this guy's?
Don't have to fall as far, I guess, shorter.
Okay. Which is the one?
I don't know.
I'm not going to be able to find it.
Check my feed. I've got, what are we in? Like number 2 of the Days of Darkness here? 2 Days of Darkness. When's the last time Trump said anything?
I think we're on number 3.
Is it 3, like 2.5, 3-ish? I'm not sure. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on the last time he made some kind of comment.
Somebody did say that they felt like they saw Cappy.
Isaac Cappy?
Yeah. Look
Really?
at this. Check this out. This made me so happy. So happy. Mickey Larson Olson. I'm happy to report that Cappy is very much alive. Years ago, now JFK Jr. posts a picture of Cappy living on the grass reading a book. He says Cappy is alive. There are more than 900 people that you think are dead that are actually alive, which this was my, when I said yesterday that I've said it multiple times now, that what's his name that just got out of prison?
David Allen Coe?
No, for God's sake. The guy, InfoWars guy, or no, it's not
Alex
InfoWars.
Jones?
No.
I know who you're talking about.
Help me.
J6 guy.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. I know who he is. I can't
Oh my
think of
gosh.
what his name is.
Somebody
How
help me
could we forget?
with the tan. I was just saying it yesterday.
I can't remember.
I can see his face and his bad hair, the flippy hair.
I don't know.
Not
Somebody in
Alex
the chat knows.
Jones.
Somebody in the chat knows. Come on. Who is it? Steve Bannon.
Thank you, sir. Joseph Greenfellow. Bannon, yes. Bannon comes back. He has a tan. Then we were looking at the comparisons of some of the other ones, all this. Okay.
Looked a little thinner in the face.
And then I saw reports of back in the day, they used to have people hide during the war and then they would come back. So, okay, many people that are dead that you think are alive, they face military tribunals and were found guilty and executed. You're seeing a lot of people wearing masks with voice modulators. You may see some. Do you remember, you guys, when Pelosi was walking around with a mask and her assistant was walking behind her with a phone held up back in the COVID days? Do you remember that video where she's walking in the White House and she's got her mask on because this is the great infection, and her assistant is walking beside her and has a phone, and that's where the noise was coming from. The recording of the voice, and she's walking and doing this.
It was like the James Earl Jones, Darth Vader voice thing modulator you could get, when you're a little kid.
Was
you
the
switch it.
perfect up for all of this to happen. Okay. For the most part, they're actors, actresses wearing masks, voice modulators. Yesterday, we showed the difference between the old Pompeo and this new tall, skinny one with his
with the weird neck
on his neck. Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Spanx has been executed as well with his wife and the brother.
That's symbolism for the gold in the Grand Canyon, because it's there's a big canyon there. Or maybe that's what they're talking about.
There you go.
Golden Age. All the gold in the Grand Canyon. Pompeo's neck.
Look what book he's reading. Becoming Supernatural.
Is that what it is?
By Joe Dispenza. Uh-huh.
Come on, man.
Can this get any better?
It could.
Can this get any better?
It could. I mean, at some point we should bring up the Novus Ordo Seclorum.
Yeah.
New Order of the Ages, that picture.
We brought it up yesterday. Yeah.
I had a lot to drink yesterday. All that rum. I don't know if it was me or if it was somebody else. It might have been my double.
Well, hold on. I'll show it again because I have it on my Twitter feed.
All right.
I
looked at it again today and kind of reanalyzed it. So I'm like,
oh okay. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah. So I teach canon Latin. And so I immediately went and searched it up.
Search it up, baby.
Hold on.
E pluribus unum.
Oh,
it's like Wizard of Oz stuff, isn't it? He says, "Oh, e pluribus unum."
You're welcome, ladies. We'll talk about this in a minute.
Hello, Jeez.
JFK, Junior. This is significant, which we talked about yesterday, but we'll talk about that later. Oh, the plane. We have to talk about the plane. Ruben shared some amazing, great stuff from Gene Ho we need to talk about.
Dang, I missed a lot.
The monkeys we could talk about again.
The 40 monkeys.
40
Not the 12 monkeys, but the 40 monkeys in canoes in South Carolina and going to Walmart.
This is hilarious that Pal is pouting pal.
He was kind of pouty, wasn't he? It's kind of like, no.
He's very pouty. This is awesome, Uncle Cliff. There's Mike Scullett.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Guess what? You're not fired because I just ended the Fed and we're going to print money out of the Treasury now. Bye-bye.
There is the golden age of America, Bitcoin or gold. Go follow Clint Westwood on YouTube and get educated.
Yeah, get yourself something.
It's going to be a minute because there's a lot.
Get yourself W-pilled.
There's old Mike Pompeo. That's the original version.
Guy. Yeah, he's cutting it up.
Low to the ground.
Kamala when she was dancing, she was doing the
a little wider. Okay, RFK. Oh, Yellow Brick Road found at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Come on,
I don't think that would tell me that's not a calm.
That's Atlantis. Did you say Pacific Ocean?
It said Pacific. Yes.
Oh, that's odd. Because usually they have that stuff, you know, like off Bermuda or something. They found these sunken things like that in the Pacific Ocean, huh? Oh,
the Pacific.
Oh, that must be Mu. Instead of Atlantis, it's Mu in Lemuria.
Oh, gee, ain't that terrific? Yeah. Peanut came back to torture Kamala. There we go. Here we go. A new order of the ages, meaning a phrase that signifies. Signifies. Oh my God.
Signifies. Sound and fury, signifying nothing. Yeah.
Signifies the beginning of a new American era in 1776. So that was what the phrase signified, was a new order of the ages. New
order of the ages is how it translates. And then it's actually on the back of the dollar bill. You got the pyramid with the all-seeing eye up top, and it says it right below. It says Novus Ordo Seclorum. Now, there's been the Great Seal of the United States. There's been speculation on that. Now, see, this is what I mean. This is a choose-your-own-adventure story, because there's been speculation in the past where the dollar bill has all this symbolism. It's Masonic, and it's got an owl, and it's got, you know, all these things. And you know, that phrase, you know, that means the New World Order. And so, I mean, it could. I mean, and it could mean that, what?
I'm going to spank your dog.
You know what?
Time out, Tilly Monster.
I want to be sedated. It's about what's going to happen. So, knock the F out. So there's, you know, you can look at it from the standpoint that it is, you know, the whole George Bush, you know, a new world order, that kind of thing. You know, the dark side.
But
you know,
it doesn't say that. It says a new order.
Right, I know, but that's how, you know, well, I mean, you can translate how you want.
And if you say of can mean for in, it can mean of or for in Latin. Mm-hmm. So it could mean a new order for the ages, like a new, for a new time.
Right.
In Latin. Don't mess with homeschool, Mom.
I got you. No, I know what you're saying, but I mean, it's just, I mean, that's the phrase that's been used. And so people look at that New World Order phrase and say, look, it's on our dollar bill. You know, they're already telling us there's going to be a new order for the ages. In other words, you know, everything changes. Everything's like totally different. You know, this new layer extrapolated upon the old layer, it all changes, whatever it is. And so, you know, a lot of people have looked at that, conspiracy people, that, hey, they told us on the dollar bill, you know, now George Bush is talking about this stuff. It's all connected, you know. You can look at it that way, and you can say, wait, Elon's telegraphing that he's part of this whole thing, you know, this whole thing. We've been hijacked and deceived. And then you can look at it from the standpoint of he's saying it from, you know, almost like mocking, like let that sink in kind of thing, mocking the whole thing that, you know, everybody thought was, you know, hey, you thought you're going to get your new world order, you thought all this was going to happen, and guess what, I'm trolling you back, and we're not going to do that. So you can look at it both ways, is my point. It's a choose your own adventure story. Which way is it going to go? I don't know. Maybe it's up to us to choose and decide, given, you know, us making decisions, you know, and following different paths that we believe in. But that image itself, I think there's some symbolism in that image. Because if you zoom in, look at the little placard back there. I mean, I zoomed in and could read enough of it to see what it said. And it says something about, hey, absolutely no digital photography, no photography of any point, you know, kind in this room. And I'm like, but somebody took a picture. in this room.
They've
with
all
that
got their
sign up.
Look, there's
I know, and that's what I mean. The irony of it, I'm like, that's interesting.
Look
It
what
says you
Trump's
can't do it,
holding,
yet we
though.
got pictures of it.
Look, that looks like a silver dollar and then a little gold piece.
Well, that's what I mean. There's all kinds of little things to kind of look at, I mean, and to me, that was the biggest ironic thing. You got this sign that says no photography in this room, no phones of any sort, no electronic devices. And yet you see electronic devices and this and that. I get it, probably a special occasion, but the irony is not lost on me.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is, we're talking about a new order of the ages, and then you look at Elon's son, doing this whole Christ-like thing, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's a rabbit hole to go down. So I'm just looking at the symbolism.
Freedom,
and it could be. And that's what I mean. It's like the DiCaprio in Titanic or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot there, and that's what I mean. All these things can be interpreted, and they will be interpreted by whatever your viewpoint on life is. And, you're going to have people say, that's it. That shows it right there. They're mocking Christ. And they got rules here that they're not following, and they're inverting everything. We're at that point, folks.
But I think
Choose your own adventure.
There are, like, the libs are just losing their mind. Like, the lib girls are saying they're not going to have sex for 4 years.
Which is fine. Self-imposed, anti-abortionists at this point because, they're not going to get pregnant.
Right. That's fine. I think that's great that they're being responsible,
abstaining. My choice, and, I'm using, birth control.
They're being responsible and choosing birth control.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Which is a good way to prevent the having to worry about having an abortion because, you don't have to worry about it if you don't.
Very responsible.
Yeah,
I think
very responsible.
wonderful.
You don't have to get in a car and drive to another state, basically Illinois in the Midwest.
Sure.
Yeah, blue state surrounded by red.
But I had some friends reach out to me today that they were like, and originally Uncle Cliff had said, we're going to have to coddle these libtards and as they kind of, reach whatever. And today he came out on Substack. Thank God. Because I was like, nah. My husband immediately was like, F that. No, you can figure it out for yourself. That's somebody else's problem. No. He was not having any of that. We're not helping them across the river. Like, they were so awful to us that, like, no, I don't wish them anything bad, but no, I'm not here to, help them fold their little pink pussy hat and figure out where to put it. No. Sorry. And
you've chosen your adventure. Follow the path.
Figure it out. And so I had a friend reach out today and they were just like, what do I do? I need to know the words to help my libtard friends. They're all having, breakdowns and I want to
grow up. Those are the two words. Grow up. Take responsibility for yourself.
Them and I need to say and I was like, no, that's why they're in this situation is because they've been handled like that. Yeah. I said boundaries and they've been coddled too much. No, this is their experience. This is they have been handled like that by their parents and by the freaking all of colleges and their safe
the Democratic Party. I mean, the whole institutional, situation that we're in. Yes, it's like, no, stop.
That's why they're in the situation that they're in. So this is their lesson. They need to learn to self-regulate, and that's their journey. We're all on our own journey. Mm-hmm. And you can be here and you can be a friend, but you need to have boundaries. You don't need to compromise yourself and your boundaries.
Why are you worried about it? I mean, stop worrying about them. That's their choice.
And this is their choice. And if they want to choose to interact in a respectful way, then that's fine. But like I had this friend who wanted to post this nasty meme about how conservative Republicans call teen moms whores and don't want to help them. And I was like, excuse me. I said, that is, and so that's your justification for murdering children? I said, that is the most bizarre. I said, how many teen moms have you helped? I'm just curious.
Right.
So your justification for posting this meme and calling Republicans and conservatives horrible people and you say that we say awful things about teen mothers. How
Yeah.
many teen
You
mothers?
having adopted how many children?
Well, and that was his response. He goes, "Oh, Lisa, I don't care how many children you've adopted." I said, that is not even my comment. I said, I don't care either. I said, how I want to know how many teen mothers you've helped.
Mhm.
And he's like, I said, I'm waiting.
Before giving up and just saying, "Oh, it's just too hard."
And I said, what is the justification of killing children for you thinking? I said, first of all, I am a conservative, and I have actually helped teen mothers. So
Right.
the point of your meme,
It has nothing to do with conservatives. I mean, it just happens that most, I think, that's the kind of a path that we all take if we're conservative thinking. But it has nothing to do with that. Ultimately, it's like anybody can help. Anybody can help a
anyone can
child.
help. And that's what I
You know what I
told
mean?
him. I said, I think if a teen mother showed up at my door, I would gladly help. I would not call her name. And I think that if she showed up at your door, I think you would help too.
I would hope.
Because I think that's who both of us are. And for you to say that conservative people would call her names is disgusting.
No,
And I said, that's where you have been so brainwashed by mainstream media. And I would hope that by this point, you would see that they have, at this point, surely you have seen that by the polls lying to you for years, not just months, not weeks, but years. And now seeing the outcome, that would have woken you up. And you would say, my God, maybe those people aren't so bad. Maybe we're not that far off in our beliefs or whatever. Let's have a conversation about, because for the most part, we probably all love children and humanity, and everybody kind of loves cleaning up the squirrel and puppies, and everybody wants to have a fucking Christmas cookie and love their Nana.
Yeah, I know. I mean, who doesn't want that?
I mean, my God.
Maybe 10%. I would say maybe like less than 5% of the people. There's a level of evil out there. I mean, there really is. I mean but I mean, for the most part, we're all kind of the same, and it's just like quit. Just like tomorrow, we're gonna have all kinds of college football games, and we're gonna be mad at each other because my team's gonna beat your team. On Sunday we're gonna have the NFL. My team's better than your team. Over my jerseys and all this stuff, and get mad and upset because something that has nothing to do with your life. You're watching it, and then you're just allowing yourself to be beat down because if you lose, or exhilarated if you win. And it's just, why are we doing this team stuff? It's like, rah, my team's better, so I got to stick with my team, blue, red. I'm like, dude, stop. I mean, there's common sense that should be, in a strata across all colors here. And it's just, I mean, you just shut down mentally, though, because that's not the party platform. Like, come on. Really?
If you knew what that was perpetuating, what they were doing with the funds that your energy was perpetuating with all of that. Like you wouldn't put your energy there. You wouldn't put your energy there.
Right. You're wasting it.
Magic, I don't have an accent. I don't know what you're talking about.
Accent.
But anyway,
I don't know. Accent.
But then I was really relieved to see, and I was trying to listen to it, but we've been cleaning like crazy and getting ready for everything. But so I was listening to it 1.5, so I didn't get all of it, but I was relieved to hear Uncle Cliff say, look, we have entered the portal. We have jumped the shark. We are, American accent. Ooh, I'm so flattered.
Oh, there you go.
American accent. I love hearing that. Yeah. So that we're in, there are some people that are not going to get it. Like we have,
you're right.
The choose your own adventure thing. Some people,
you're going to fall off the cliff no matter what you do, right? Or you're going to get run over by the tractor. You're going to make the wrong decision, and that's fine. That's your adventure. And I mean, some people are just always going to fail.
To page 17, and some people turn to page 46, and that is okay. But you do not have to get everyone to turn to page 17, and that's okay. Just release yourself from that and let them go on their way.
And so you reset, because it's like, you fall off the cliff, and then you come back and you're like, okay, let me do, because you do that, once it happens, then you go back, you're like, no, I didn't want to make that decision.
Some people need to reboot.
Turn the page. So now reset, get more, here we go again.
It is okay. We're all going to get our little floaty Well, not all, but
I need more life credits. I need to power up.
the ones that go to page 17 are going to get their little floaty thing. I just felt really drunk because I've been cleaning up and all this. So I found like some of these old Alta reports. And
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, oh,
good
soaring
stuff.
20s.
Good stuff.
And we're like right there. We're in, so this is 2024, we're going into
Yeah.
2025.
He was talking about Sci-Fi World in what, 2017 or something? I don't even know. Maybe it was a little bit later. I can't remember. I'd have to
Yeah.
go back and look.
Mhm.
Crazy.
2022, 2018 through 2022. I don't know. We were talking about like, it's interesting because he's saying like authority running into and becoming the hard walls, forecasting shit gets real, model space for the hard lump trying to be digested, internal upset breakdown of financial political power system. Let's see. International relations will lead to aggressive talk and actions by foreign partners. Did you see where Elon jumped on the call with Putin today?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't really catch up on a lot of stuff today.
Well, I didn't have much
But you
time.
did. You jumped on
Well-
the call. What was it, like a Spaces?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't
Imagine
know
this.
how
We're going to
they-
have like live Spaces, with world leaders now on the X platform.
It's possible. What if
Wow.
that's how they communicate with us all now? So
It
it's a
could
little
be.
more real. Remember when was it Roosevelt that had the
Fireside chat.
chats?
Yeah.
And can you imagine how like amazing that would be if like Trump did like a monthly, I mean, I'm sure he couldn't do a weekly, but a monthly fireside chat.
I think that'd be a good thing. I mean, I really do. I mean, he's done all these freaking rallies to where it's like, man, unbelievable. But I mean, yeah, absolutely. Use the technology of the day to speak directly to the people. I think it'd be a good thing.
Yeah. And it gives the people, it does give people comfort that they feel like they're being heard or
Yeah.
they are a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're making a connection with the people. And, he does that very well. I mean, he really does. So, continue to do that and have those and, have, whoever he's got in this position or that position, hey, explain, hey, this is what we're doing. I mean, this is, RFK, come out, hey, this is, what I've been working on, I'm giving you a little feedback. This is what we said we were going to do. It'd be nice to have more interaction and more accountability,
Oh, this
real
is so
time.
interesting. So Canon did we're doing our science fair project. I say we.
Trust the Science Fair project.
So the science fair project does silver prevent milk from spoiling?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So he has to have at least 3 sources.
Okay.
And they love, like the judges just think it's awesome when you get an interview with someone.
Yeah.
So who better than Bix Weir?
A silver guy.
The silver guy, the one and only. So Cannon interviewed Bix, and Bix is like, "Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you." And I was like, "Hi." He's like, "Get out of here. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Cannon." So I had to like leave. And then Cannon, I had to teach him how to like hit record. So it's just him and Bix.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll post that on my Patreon or something for everybody. I'll have to ask Cannon and Bix's permission because it's not my property, but not my IP.
Yes.
Or not my name, image, likeness. But yeah, but one of the things that Bix talked about was like, I'm just scanning through this, like skimming through this, and this silver thread was one of the things that Bix said. He mentioned silver being pulled out to a thread, how it has all these properties that are unusual for metals or whatever, and it can be stretched or made thin to a silver thread. And that is literally in Cliff High's data, silver thread. So it says new growth comes into gold and silver sets over January. Some specifics for new success with cryptocurrencies that are involved with, quote, the silver thread. Large levels of growth are also sets for successful efforts within the conjunct sets of governance and cryptocurrencies. Oh,
I'm telling you that
That's
makes
very
sense to me.
interesting.
Well, it does make sense to me because that silver thread, I've always seen Litecoin as that silver rail. And so, just like traveling and touching everything, and that thread is kind of, to me, analogous. It's that
Okay.
thing
So
that stretches out and, just kind of like goes anywhere it needs to go.
the other commonality with that in Cannon's research. So silver is one of the few metals that are merge mined because they are the byproduct of copper and
A lot
gold.
of copper. Yeah. And then
A
you
lot
think
of most
Dogecoin
copper.
looks like copper. Oh.
But you do not just mine silver. It is the byproduct of
Usually it is
another
now, yeah.
metal. You typically
Very
merge
few
mine it.
purely silver mines. Yeah, very few.
Yeah. And so I was like, wow, that's another commonality with
I know.
Litecoin.
I know.
It truly is like the silver of crypto.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
I know. I mean, it is crazy, and it's wild, but yeah. And there's a lot of parallels. I mean, what this digital world that is coming, especially with cryptocurrencies, mirror in a lot of ways. That's why I say meet the new boss, same as the old boss. You can look at that in a negative way. I mean, it's like, same old song and dance. Here we go again. Or you can look at it in another way to where it's like, hey, the old boss, you got gold, silver, copper, still going to be a boss. I mean, but then the new boss, and you see it, and you've seen it played out, gold, Bitcoin, silver, Litecoin, copper, maybe Dogecoin. I mean, and merge mine these two, and so there's a lot of parallels going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and you've just identified it.
Yeah. I don't know. That was really cool. Just going through that with him. Of course, I get all excited about it, and he's like, yeah, Mom. Okay.
I know, right?
Great.
Can I use these things to buy things on my video game?
On Fortnite. I know. He's like, you also get weird when I talk about
armor up
the Chrome on my Fortnite. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, yes, you can.
Yeah. This is interesting. Speaking of
this.
All this.
Are there any states where women face prosecution for having an abortion?
No.
Are there any states that criminalize miscarriage
No.
or that care for for a miscarriage?
No.
Are there any states that criminalize removing an ectopic pregnancy?
No.
Are there any states that prohibit life-saving care for the mother?
No.
Are there any states where women have to be actively dying for a doctor to be able to act for her care?
No.
There's been a lot of rhetoric in this that I'm concerned pushes people away from getting access to health care. Vice President Harris, in a speech recently, said that women were being arrested and facing prosecution for experiencing miscarriages. Ms. Hackler, do you know of a single instance where a woman has been arrested for having a miscarriage or getting health care for that?
No, treatment for miscarriage is allowed under the law. And there have been instances where I think that one example of that that's been pointed to is misleading because the woman, I think she was in Ohio, the charges against her were not abortion related. And so it's misleading to use that as an example.
It's not only misleading, but it scares women away from getting access to health care. And it leads women to not go get healthcare treatment when they desperately need it.
Like these.
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the fear mongering, the level of that, and people actually believe it though. It's like, I'm not going to be able to, make choices for myself because, the Trump abortion ban. And then you just see that, I mean,
they're lying. They're
BS.
lying.
I mean, it's absolutely BS. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, we got to save the baby. You're going to die, I mean, come on, man.
No, they're all lying. Shame on them. And then when you think about the consequences of that, like he said, it's leading women to not go get health care because they believe the lie.
Right. Instead of doing your own research and figuring out, making a phone call at least, and just asking questions, it's like, oh, what does the leader in the talking point say today? And this is what I need to follow. Again, trust yourself. I mean, don't trust either side. I mean, whatever they say and what you think and internalize, again, it's like you can interpret that picture we had up in any number of ways. You can interpret language in any number of ways. and it just is how you choose to interpret it. Okay, maybe you should ask the question, just like he's doing, of real people that are actually involved in the space, and find out. It's like, hey, I got the situation. If I come down there, what happens? But no, instead it's like, I would rather be mad and upset and root for my team and your team bad and all this BS, rather than doing some homework and trusting yourself to do the homework, doing the research, and not depending on a demagogue to give you the answers.
Past generations of Americans.
Oh my gosh. 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 They are doing another land run. Hold on. We have to listen to this. This is so exciting. I'm sending this to all my children. Hopefully they will all go build houses and have babies. Well, not Cannon. He's too young. But this is so exciting. And there was another thing. RFK has a website where like we the people can suggest legislation. I'll find that too. That this is so exciting. Like we the people, this is where like when Trump, remember when he came into office and he said, we're giving the America back to the people, and the military were all standing behind him. Like the things are being put into place. I want to share those two things with you guys. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. But I don't know when this happened, because I thought Trump was being quiet. So when is this happening?
Well, there are things that came out. I mean, his 11-point proposal to eliminate the deep state, I think, came out in 2023, and that's going around.
Okay, so this is an old video?
Well, I think there's a lot of older videos. Now, what did you always say? During the time of darkness, a lot of the educational videos are going to come out. Not that this is educational. It's more what I'm going to do, and we'll see what happens with the truth, so maybe this is part of that thing. I don't know.
So is this actually okay, hold on. The future will be, hold on. This is Trump's plan, and it says the future will be amazing. So this is not necessarily a announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get everybody hyped up then. We'll see.
Hold him to it if he said it. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Hold these people, hold his feet to the fire at this point. And so I'm always the skeptic, no matter who's in charge, because if they're in charge, I'm skeptical, and that's just me. I say, if you said you're going to do it, you got a mandate to do it. I mean, you see what happened. You saw what happened in the last election. You've got Congress, you got the House, you got the Senate, you got the White House. There's no excuse not to put these things in place. And I'll be the first one to call out this administration for the next 4 years. And I'll be the most rabid person going after them if they don't do the things that were promised, because we said, go do it. America
and not
said,
pass it off to the freaking 3-letter agencies.
No.
They need to do their job. Like, I am going to be in Stephanie Bice's ear. Like, no. You don't get to say it's the SEC's job. You don't get to say the FTC. Like, the part of this whole thing where like they passed, or they didn't even pass. It is not a law. This big threat where
no,
like,
we have the Chevron thing. No, all that doesn't matter anymore. Congress needs to act and do the right thing.
Yes. So there is this thing where like every business has to list the business owners by December 31st, or every under 20 business owners or less. If you do not send in some report to the FTCC by New Year's Eve, you are going to be fined so much money per day, all this to destroy small business. And that's what
ridiculous.
Biden was trying to destroy gig economy and small business and whatever. So, but FTC doesn't make laws.
Right.
And so I was following.
Like the SEC, they just strong arm you and said, hey, we're going to lean on you. And then, why don't we just make a deal and not have to
put fees and whatever. And I'm like, I looked it up. The thing never passed. It was never a law. How can you do that? It's not a law. And so then I'm like, okay, well then now, I mean, does that mean because of Chevron, we don't have to do that? But there's no who's on first? Who's in charge? Do we have to listen to them? Do we have to do it? I mean,
that's it. It needs to be very clear going forward, because there's no question, who's in charge. I mean, where the power is at this point, and all this needs to get worked out. I mean, like right now, there's no messing around. I mean, you had 4 years of a hiatus here, a pause. You should be able to come in and just change it like immediately. It needs to get done. There's no excuse in my mind right now. So I'm all for many of these things, and it's just let's get it done. Let's do it.
Yes. The chat is
If
amazing.
it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen.
Very grateful for you
It's
guys.
not going to happen. So it's got to happen now.
Well, things are already happening. I know there was something else like I don't know, things are happening. Gaza was pulling out, or somebody was, I can't remember what was I didn't make a note.
Yeah, I do. I hope we see that Charles Bronson case. Taken care of
Brunson.
and announced. I know.
It's not Charles Bronson.
I
it's
know.
a-
I said that because I did. Who knows? You know what the algorithm's going to do?
Oh, well, fuck the algorithm. I am so sick of playing up to all that. Like I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of them
done.
sending me threatening
Done.
emails. I'm tired of them bullying
Charles
me
Bronson
around. I'm
case.
tired of them
Charles Bronson
bottling my thing and
hidden in
sending me
hidden in the Beast limo. He comes out.
a couple of $100 a year and
Oh, that's Chuck Norris.
bullying me. Like,
We're in a no bully zone.
yeah.
You know,
I'm tired of
hey,
it.
and all these people crying. Send them like you got some extra boxes from like U-Haul or something. Just give them a box and say this is your safe zone, right? Safe zone.
This is your safe
Safe
space.
zone. Throw them the box and say here you
Now
go.
I'm saying
Here's your safe zone. Set it up wherever you
Yeah.
want.
I'm over it.
Wow.
That's
Take it to
my-
San Francisco.
I'm tired of it.
Or Chicago. Even people in Chicago are getting upset. Even Democrats are getting upset with the governor. I mean, it's just like, dude,
Really?
you're talking about, we're gonna, this and that, and all the preach, and they're just, hey, I'm trying to run a business here, and it's hard to run businesses. We're losing people. It's hard to hire anybody and bring anybody into Chicago because you're bad policies. And it's like Chicago's not a bad city. I mean, it's got a lot to offer, but it's just like, man, just run it in the ground. I mean, that's what they do. I mean.
Isn't it kind of really dangerous though? Like our friend
Yeah,
that lives there
there's great pockets of
was
it. Yeah, there's
saying,
great pockets of danger, I guess. I mean, but there's still a lot of good
Okay.
people that live there that have their homes and neighborhoods, and I mean, it's got a great view. It's right on
Oh,
freaking
really?
Lake Michigan. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's got a lot to offer, but they've completely just hollowed it out, just like all the other cities. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sanctuary city. Let's just everything that you built, let's tear it down and destroy it and give it away.
this is so funny. Coffee and Stock says a 26-year-old social influencer. So this is so funny. A 26-year-old social influencer said he's done with the USA because of the election and he's moving to Hawaii.
Was he
He
was
said,
he
"Does
getting like a
anyone wanna
Lahaina
do-"
grant, from the government or something? I mean, seriously.
Well,
I mean,
so this is the indoctrination camp. This is how terrible the public government, as Sean says, the government schools are. Like he thinks that Hawaii is not part of the USA.
oh, that's free. That's like one of the bluest states in the country. I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, and they tax the
But
heck out of you.
the poor kid doesn't realize it is part of the USA.
Well, exactly. It's like nothing's changed there. I mean, Puerto Rico would have been a better choice.
Moron.
The floating island of garbage would have been a better choice
Moron.
than Hawaii because yes, it's a state. It's pretty sad.
Lord.
I don't know. Maybe we have 52 states now, like Obama said. What was it, 52 or 40? I don't know what he said in his campaign. Some ridiculous number.
I don't know. The Trump effect. 48
Girl,
hours since his win. Trump appoints the first ever. Do you know this woman? She was very shy. At the
Susan
at-
Wiles. Talking about
Wiles.
Susie Wiles. Yeah, it's
Susie
Pat
Wiles, you
Summerall's
know-
daughter, the NFL football commentator. Used to play football. It's Pat Summerall's daughter. Now that's one again. This is a choose your own adventure because
I
she's
do
very
not
tied into Big Pharma, and she's going to be the
was
chief of staff.
hiding like a you know what?
Yeah.
She did not want to speak. She was
No,
kept
no, I
hiding.
know.
Trying to run
She's
away,
a behind
run
the
away,
scenes
run away.
gal, and gets things done. But yeah, I mean, you look at her history. She's like a Mercury something LLC. They interact a lot with Big Pharma, Pfizer, and a lot of these things. And so, and JD Vance in the same vein. Now you can look at it this way. You can say, wait a minute, this is me. The same old people not draining the swamp, bringing the same people in the door. Or you
That's
can look at
how
it from
he
the
has drained the
standpoint of
swamp the last time
Right.
is he brings them in the light.
Right,
And that's
but
what he
or
said,
maybe
"Bring it in the light
maybe
and clean
maybe
it
this
up."
is, but listen, that maybe it's a sting operation, and because you've got people that have connections and understand how it
Right.
works on the inside, and you're bringing them in to fix it now because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, in that aspect, where if you're in the fire and in the arena, because there's a lot of good people in all bad agencies, and so if you tap the right people who have knowledge of everything that went on and understand how the industry works,
Mhm.
and they're good guys and they want it to be cleaned up,
And
those
then
are the
it's
kind
all
of
the
people you want.
whistleblowers start going.
Right. So, but that's the thing to
Right.
watch, so I'm not buying into either narrative at this point. I'm just watching and judging the tree by its fruits, because that's the most important thing at this point, I think.
Oh, Charlie G said, I saw that video and he said, we'll see how it goes. So I think you're right.
Yes. And
We'll
that's
see how
what
it goes.
we gotta wait and see, because if I'm running a massive sting operation, you've got to have informants. I mean, you've got to have people that know, that are inside of it, that are like, quote, white hats, that kind of thing. And I can speak firsthand to it. I mean, it's just like, just because it's a bad organization doesn't mean there are good people in there not doing good things.
Right.
They're steered along in different ways covertly. And if, with the knowledge that those people have, if you put them in positions of power to where they can do good and say, hey, I know where all the bodies are, those are the kind of people you want. Now, are these people, is she one of those people that know where the bodies are and is going to fix it? And, hey, there they are,
We'll
walking
see.
around.
Right.
Let's
The
wait and
last
see.
thing you want
There's
is
no
to remove
excuses at this point,
somebody,
though.
that could expose something or that has access to
Right.
something.
You got
like
knowledge. Dangerous
Yeah.
thing right now. So it's
Wow.
it's an interesting time. I mean, it really is. I mean, we could be going full technocratic, transhumanist, singularity, Terminator society moment, with the people that are in place, or we could be living in, moving into, a whole different age of, going to Mars and, doing all the sci-fi world. So it's an interesting thing, because it could go both ways. In my mind, I can see both sides of it. And hey man, that's why I came back. I'm here for the ride, baby. I want to see how it ends up.
Says Charles Flynn, U.S. Army Pacific General, stepping
Step
down
down.
Friday.
Yep.
Says, I want to thank Hawaii.
And so you think one of the things Trump said,
So
it's like,
that's
hey,
Charles
the
Flynn.
people in the military
Mike
are good. There's
Flynn's
some
brother?
leaders that need to go. I don't know. Maybe.
You're cutting out like crazy.
Oh, really?
Thing.
Oh, you know what? It might be the microphone dying.
What did you say? Something about somebody's got to like bad.
Okay, am I back?
Hold on.
Is it
let
better?
me see if I can check.
Is that better?
Hold on. You're cutting out super bad.
Come on, man.
Let me cut some things out. Mom says he's retiring. It's fine. Mom goes, Lisa, stop it. He's just retiring. Everything is fine.
He's just had enough. New administration. We're done here.
He's tired and he is retiring. Everything's fine. Oh, Jim says he can hear you. So it's just on my
Must be on
end.
your end. Okay. All right. I switched microphones because I didn't charge them last night.
No, it's not. It's
it might
not
be
you.
dying. Okay.
And it's not the microphone. It's like you're like.
It must be your connection.
It's my connection.
I'm going full max headroom.
His 4-star brother is retiring. I had the craziest dream. I don't know if I should share this dream. Mom, tell me if I should share the dream about my Colonel grandfather and Colonel uncle. And current. It was interesting.
We heard about it on Spaces last night. So, for the after hour effect, you can hop on Spaces for these things, I guess.
Yeah, maybe do that. That's more fun.
It's more fun. We love you all in the chat, but it's more fun in Spaces.
Well, it's just like,
freewheeling.
Mom says less is more. Lisa,
yes.
Don't share all of your stories.
Good advice, Mama.
Oh, okay, look, this is what I tried to share with you guys the other day, and it did not let me. I bet it won't let me again, but we can try. I think it's partially. So, in 1972, great year,
Oh yeah, the man in the red hat.
the Hopi man, spirit elder, explains the prophecy, including the man in the red hat. And literally, it says a red cap. Chief Seattle claims that the white man means man's God, Jesus. What?
The white man's God, Jesus, is
Claim.
what is it, the Great Spirit, I think is what he was saying. That's Chief Seattle, though. That's not this guy.
Oh,
This
it
guy
means
did.
their great spirit or one.
Yeah, they equated the white man's Jesus
And
with
we're
their
living
Great
through the
Spirit
end times.
at the same time. Yeah, that's what they say. So, I mean, but yeah, that's interesting. I retweeted that. I didn't see it, and then last night Cryptoshi was talking about it. Not a FOMO was talking about it, and he sent the link, and I watched it today, and it gives you a little bit of chills. I mean, thinking about it, but it makes a lot of sense. It's what I've always said. It's like, hey, all this GMO corn and all this stuff, all the fluoride and all the things that all the things that they've done to pollute this world. There will be a reckoning coming, and I mean, they see it. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, it's like you can run along for a long time, but sooner or later, God's going to cut you down, right, Johnny Cash? I mean, we all have that feeling that you can only pollute things so long before justice comes.
Yes. Because Mother Earth, think about how Mother Earth took over Detroit. If you guys have ever been to Detroit, my mom grew up there. It was like, my grandfather was part of the auto industry. He was an innovator, brilliant man. And it was a thriving, metropolis, whatever. And then, we got sold out to China, and Mexico's building cars and whatever. And Mother Earth has taken over those big factories and whatever. You can go watch videos. Like, I mean, when we go to Arkansas, we always come through Roland off I-40, and the jungle that is the Arkansas River and all that. Like, you have to beat back. Mom has to like keep the river and Arkansas and all of that, the growth from coming up the mountain, the hill, from eating her house. You know what I mean? Mother Earth will take over and consume if man does not push it back.
Absolutely.
So,
look at all the pyramids in Central America that just got buried in the jungle, and you find them all the time. It's like, holy crap, I didn't realize that was there. It's just like nature took over.
Yeah. And so I think that's the reckoning. Man tries to come in and step on, but even everything, and Bitcoin Ben told me this on one of our very long drives, because I was talking about like, they talk about the Green New Deal and what about the pollution and whatever. And he's like, Lisa, think about even everything that pollution is made of was created from something of this earth. And so like the whole ashes to ashes, dust to dust, like even though it might have been intended for harm or whatever, ultimately it all goes back to the earth and will be recycled to something inert and of the earth. It will be returned to Mother Nature and the earth. She's not afraid of herself. And energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? So she's not afraid of herself. Like it's
right. It's like that's my essence in a different form, in a different molecule, or in a different thing, and it will become what it was before. You think about water. We're talking about we got water shortages. We're going to run out of water. I'm like, wait a minute. We're like 3/4 water on this planet. We're like in a biosphere. The water just gets redistributed.
Yes, it never goes away.
You never lose the water.
Somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, they can pollute it and put chemicals in it, but the thing is, then the earth purifies it. It's like if you have a well, you got all these layers of, that purifies the water. I mean, it doesn't disappear. It doesn't like shoot off into the, into space. And it's here. It's just, it may be polluted and you can't drink it, but the water is always here. And there are ways to, given enough time, Earth will purify that water.
Right.
I mean, and it will be drinkable and usable and give life again. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So this was the video that I was trying to show you guys months ago that it wouldn't ever play and it wouldn't let me play it for you guys. And I shared it on our Telegram. Hopefully you guys got to see it, but that's it. So
The man with the red hat, the man with the red cap.
And now we're seeing it. The man with the red cap. And now we're seeing all of this great coming together. That's the other thing that I think people are really, I wish more people were talking about, where they're saying like, oh, there's all this division. You're seeing the left fall apart. And I'm like, I don't think that. I think that you're seeing a lot of America come together, because when you see Tulsi Gabbard was running for Democrat leadership, right?
Yeah.
She came to become Republican. RFK was running independent, right?
Whole
He
family
came
was
to
Democrat.
become
No, he was actually
Republican.
Democrat. A Democrat. He wanted, but they
And
wouldn't let
his
him.
family
Wouldn't let him in the
was
party.
Democrat.
Wouldn't let him show up.
Right.
And so he's like,
And that's fine. But to say that it's split the nation,
no.
when I am seeing a coming together. So I don't know.
No, I think so. I think it is, and I think we all have very similar values. We kind of want to be left alone. We don't want government telling us what to do. My body, my choice, right? I want to live my life how I want to live it. I don't want some intrusion, and I just want to raise my family. I want sound money when I go to work. That it's what I make today is going to hold the same value and purchasing power for the next 30 years. That doesn't happen. That's a problem. That needs to get fixed. I mean, but most people can't put that into words and understand what's happening. I mean, but that is a thing. It's like we need batteries that don't leak energy. I put my energy in this battery. I don't want that battery to leak. I want something, I take that battery, 30 years from now, hand it to a child, my kids, whatever, grandkids, and say, look, you can buy the same stuff that it bought when I was a kid, or whenever I made the money. But that doesn't happen. It gets eroded. So now we got to play in a casino. And it's like, oh, roll the dice. We got to get ahead. We got to get ahead of the game. Pull the arm a little bit more. And that's where they want us. Vampires. Get rid of the vampires. Vampires control the money.
Bam.
Lisa's glitching now.
Oh my gosh. I just keep looking back at just this one paragraph, like the silver thread, conjunct with forms of governance, entirely forms of new government developing, causes both large-scale layoffs, service shutdowns, with national government focusing on sharp lens into cryptocurrencies and successful new ventures. Further data is forecasting that some of the new successful ventures will include replacing government functions with actual true private citizen initiatives. Oh, you mean like Space Force and stuff like that? There are sets within the longer term data that are tied to this January shorter sets that include references to peer-to-peer smart contracts. Oh, you mean like Veritasium and stuff? So everyone go buy the one best-selling book, Melania. She's amazing. Super exciting. I love it.
I'll take myself off
That's
mute.
what- are you
You're
frozen
glitching
or
a
are you just
lot.
pretending?
You're glitching. I'm just saying, your max headroom, great looking
no,
max
yeah,
headroom.
it's fine.
Best looking max headroom I've ever seen.
Stuff is
I mean,
frozen
anybody,
over here.
I'm
I know.
Generation
I cannot
X here.
change all my stuff. If
I know.
Canon is on,
He's probably
playing
shooting
game.
them up, baby. He's sucking the bandwidth right now.
Canon is going to be in trouble.
He's just he is. Come on now.
I'm going to bust his tail. No, I don't do that anymore. He's too old for that.
Time for the Board of Education.
Oh, Mom was so irritated. We were very late. She goes, her thumbnail says 5:30, and then she gave rolling eyes.
Yeah, Lisa froze. That's what everybody's saying.
See, when we're live, it's not people. I'm still frozen.
Well, you're glitching. Glitching it up, girl. Glitchy.
I'm still frozen.
Ooh, glitchy.
I have shut off everything I can. I've shut off everything I can.
Just can't shut off Westwood. I've been trying. I can't do it.
I am like,
Oh. Yeah.
I've cut off everything I can.
Hey, did you see Joe
And I'm
Biden
hardwired
this
in.
week? Did you see Joe Biden this week come out and give the, not the concession, but it was like the transition speech?
It
Sure.
won't let me post.
It was the sharpest Joe Biden has looked. And it was very interesting, that he just rolls out and, it seems like he can speak now. I'm like, what do we got, an actor here playing a role, just kind of fill in the void and the pause? I don't know. The more and more I watch this thing, the more I think, yeah, you need more popcorn because it's a show that we're watching. Hopefully we're not going to get duped at the end, and there's a brick wall at the back of the theater, so to speak. But we'll see. I'm hopeful. I am hopeful, but it's a very interesting time to be alive. I mean, there's such massive change that's coming, and it's hopefully it's for the good. I really hope that, and maybe it's up to us to make it good and steer it that way, and use our energy, to push it forward and steer and guide this thing that's happening. And Lisa's gone, so now I'm gonna take over. No, I shouldn't do that. No, I just want to say, hey, thanks everybody for showing up in the chat. And it was a good show. It was a great show. It was a great show ever. It was awesome. But it's I don't know. Her internet's messed up. I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay,
she's
I'm
back.
trying to come back. They
Yes,
had
she's
like
back.
4 of me
Back
back in the
again.
backstage.
Lisa's back. Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Can you hear me?
This. Okay. Sorry, guys. Lord. I can hear you and you're frozen, but it's fine.
Who's
Anyway,
frozen?
sorry, guys.
Lisa or Westwood? Come on, put it in the chat. Who's frozen?
I think you are.
Come on, man.
Westwood's a popsicle.
Yes. See? 5 by 5.
You're
All right.
both frozen. Great. Awesome.
Frozen. Who's I can't even remember the. I feel like John Travolta, at the awards ceremony. Zena Menzel. What's the gal's name that sang the Frozen song? Whatever it is. Zena Menzel.
Elsa.
Yeah, Elsa. Yeah, but I mean, the name of the person that John Travolta effed up, at the awards ceremony that one time. That was a pretty good one.
Oh, I don't know who actually.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
George Soros shut down his Hong Kong office. I thought that was something positive.
It was all Hong Kong phooey anyway, right?
Also, the U.S. House is scheduled for, I'm sure this Uncle Cliff is going to be so happy. UFO hearings scheduled for November 13th. Please, someone tell me that's a Friday. Oh, it's not. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
It's this Wednesday.
Middle of the week.
So it's a woo-woo Wednesday.
It's a woo-woo Wednesday.
For UFO hearings on this coming Wednesday.
To go back to that video of the man in the red hat thing, and that's what it was. There are people coming down, and they're going to either basically bring accountability. Now, I don't know if we're talking about an alien species or something, the intergalactic, trial, board or whatever you want to call it, or we're talking angels. I mean, I don't know, but there was some sort of judgment coming down. And again, what he talked about, this is just the perspective of him, like 52 years ago, having this Hopi prophecy, but it was still a choice that we needed to make. And some people are so bad that they got cleansed, they got purified. That's what they said. We're in the age of purification. So some of those people are just like, no, you're bad. You've done bad things. You're done. And so they get wiped away.
Smited.
And so, yeah, you got smote.
Reset.
And so you've got other people to where it's like, yeah, we might have kind of participated in it, but we really didn't want to. But now's your time to make a change, and say, okay, we're going forward. We're going to fix this. We're going to make this work, and you've got a chance to, you've got opportunities. And I think God gives us many opportunities. I mean, very merciful, because there's done a lot of damage in this world collectively as humanity. But again, like you said, the world never ends. But the thing is, look at the damage that's been done to your fellow human being through some of your actions and what are you gaining? You're gaining dollar bills, Federal Reserve notes. I mean,
Right.
and power that you think you have, then once you're gone, you have that power no longer. I mean, what a joke. Silly.
Right.
Do the right thing.
Disgusting.
Do the right thing.
Well, but if it's the new dollar that Trump was holding, showing Elon, that coin, the silver dollar, and that little maybe golden one that maybe Andy's talking about, I'm very curious. I'm gonna have to call
You
him.
can look that up, search that up, figure that out, dude. Dig
I'm
into
gonna
that a
call
little
him
bit.
and see if he'll come on and maybe do a show with me and talk to me about it. Because now this just coming out, Vladimir Putin says Russia is not abandoning the US dollar. So this was one of the things that Reggie and I have been privately over the years talking about, where he's like, Lisa, the US dollar is never going away because of the military backing. He's like, I don't care how much they print it, whatever, the military might that backs the US dollar will always be there. And I'm like, but they're printing it to nothing and whatever. And he's like, then it's not going away. It doesn't matter what they do to the US dollar. And so, but then I'm like, okay, are we changing language? Like, is it not the Fed dollar? Is the
because we
US
don't have a dollar now. We're not on a dollar standard. Right. We're on a Fed note standard, and we're defending that with the military. Right. And so does it transform? And Trump's always said, I want a strong dollar. Okay, is he talking about the real dollar? Again, your perspective. Is it the real dollar or the Fed note? Because a dollar is different than this right here. That's not a dollar. Right. It's not,
Oh, more information. Walmart is no longer taking ripped up, balloons. Walmart is no longer taking ripped up old USD Fed notes. And they're urging everyone to go into your local bank and get new current ones that have these threads in them and that are better condition and whatever.
Maybe silver threads.
I think on television. Maybe it's silver.
Oh
my gosh, is it the silver thread?
Hang on. I need my props. Where's the gold?
I just saw this last night, I think.
Is that gold back there somewhere? Somewhere. I got it.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
So they're telling people.
Yes.
They're trying to get people to start switching over. You can't hear me? Seriously? I'm kind of loud.
But see, you got these gold backs, that have your real gold in it. This is 1/1000th of an ounce of gold in this gold back. Imagine, if the currency, instead of being backed by silver, is actual silver. It has silver threads in it, just like this.
I didn't know those gold backs had silver threads in it.
Well, no, these have gold in it. But they do make silver ones, silverbacks, that have, like, not the gorilla, but have silver in it. And so this one here, it's 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, 24 karat gold in this. And it's you don't have to go to a bank and redeem it, like a silver certificate. It's like, it's in it. It's here. And it's portable and you carry it around. Does the money become that? Because, you think how valuable it is. 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, if we were to, like, monetize this or, peg this to all the assets that are in the world, this could be worth, $100 worth of purchasing power, $1,000 worth of purchasing power. I know I said dollars, but anyway, maybe that's what we're looking at. You're talking about threads, and I'm just kind of putting things together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember seeing that article, and I was like, oh my gosh. Well, now remember that during the Great Infection, Walmart put in coin machines. Mm-hmm. If you go to any self-checkout at Walmart, if you lift, like, where the scanner is, there's like a little pocket kind of close to your tummy, and like there's like a little
star.
Yeah, it's like a little coin star where you could dump coins, and they have return all this. It's like a whole thing. It's all set up. It's all been set up behind the scenes. And my little local bank that's banking the entire military, roger that.
Roger Dodger.
And I showed you guys, if you go to my channel, go to my YouTube channel and go to my homepage, and not on the live videos, but just go to my homepage, and you can see where during the Great Infection, I had this sweet boy took me on a tour when they did the ITMs.
Yeah.
And I was very shocked where he took me down the green hallway that looks like something out of the Wizard of Oz. And he's like, oh, yeah. Showed me the new ITMs with the coin and where you sign the pad and you can put a check in and it's open to anyone. They don't have to bank there. And you can get coins in and out. And then you can go down the green hallway and you can dump large amounts of coins, and you can also get rolled coins in and out of using your bank card. Like it's all already done. I'm just saying. But and then to see Trump standing there, I did not realize. I'm so glad you told me to zoom in on that picture.
Yes, there's a lot
Trump
going
is
on there.
standing
A lot going on.
And on Andy's picture, was that on Andy's picture or was it on a different picture? When you watch them go around on the Silver Eagles, you can see the little notch, which now we know from Bixby is the like DNA or whatever. It's like the thumbprint of that coin, which now that Trump has talked about the watermark on the voting bills, well, it's not about our vote being on chain. It's about the paper ballot being on chain. So they could track the ballots, not our vote. So if they know that all the ballots are on chain because the ballots all are watermarked, well, if all the coins have a thumbprint or a DNA or a watermark, because they all have a different structure, like Bix explained.
The isotopes are different and arrangements and all that.
Or whatever, they're all so
like a fingerprint, like you said,
like a fingerprint. Then each coin has like a watermark or a thumbprint, and that means each coin can actually be tracked on a blockchain, and then it can be scanned, and that's why it has a flat part, because as it rotates through, it could be scanned in a machine in an ITM.
You can't counterfeit it at that point. You know how many there are. It's like the votes. I mean, I think we talked about it last night. I don't know. I had a lot of room, but you're looking at the election for president. You look at 2016, 2020, 2024, and there's an anomaly there. I mean, so many people voted in 2020. It was like a, I don't know, a deviation. How many deviations it was.
No, we don't know.
But
a lot of people voted.
But you should be able to know to where it's like, okay, there's no more votes that can be had because everybody's voted. I mean, there's a limit. There's only so many registered voters. And when you've got, 10% more voting, it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. And, so the same with, how many coins did the U.S. government with the U.S. dollar, the new dollar, did they put out? This is how many there are. And I mean, and when they come into the system that, yes, this is one of them, this is one of them, can't counterfeit it. I don't know. But then on the other side of it, I think, they can track and trace every one of them. We'll see what happens. The technology is there for the destruction of humanity or the elevation of humanity. And, it's all right there. And it's a very, very interesting time to be alive. And for so long, I'm like, what am I doing here? Why did I come back here? What is this crap? And now I'm like, now it's all making sense. I'm enjoying the show. And no matter what happens, I'm just like, I'm watching the whole thing unfold. I'm not going to go out crying in the streets. It's just like, no, this is the path I've chosen. I'm like, yeah, baby, bring it. Don't sing it. Here we are. Let's have it. Let's get it on. I'm ready.
I really feel like Bix they know, those little turds know stuff, and they just don't tell us, but then they love to.
Why are you holding back on me? Why are you holding out?
I feel like Bix was, when he was telling Cannon the thread, And then I just saw that in Cliff's report about the thread.
No coincidences. I mean, the universe provides guideposts and signs and connections and synchronicities. And, when it happens, you just, just like you did.
New growth comes into the gold and silver sets over January with some specifics for success with cryptocurrencies that are involved with the silver thread. Large levels of new growth are also within the sets for successful efforts within the conjunct sets of governance and cryptocurrencies. He knows something. I'm just Bix loves to argue with me too, so there's something there. Just saying.
Just saying.
Now I will not sleep.
And he may not know, but he knows and doesn't know that he knows. You know what I mean? Because
he may subconsciously know. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why people resonate with him, because it's like, man, there's truth there. I just know there's truth there. And I'm just trying to, and that's why a lot of people gravitate toward him. I mean, and I think that's a lot of what happens.
A lot of wisdom. In his person.
Right. And he may not know it, but he's, like Cliff's data, it's leaking out. He may not know he's leaking it out. He may not know that it's there, but it's there and it's leaking out, and people are picking up on it.
See, and then I think, oh, you know it, and you're just not telling me.
Maybe he does, but he doesn't realize he does.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, we just have to keep talking to him and prodding it out of him. Yeah. That's wild. Now I want to go back and watch his interview with my son. I'm like, okay. Well,
yes, the road to hell is paved with
talking about electronics. And he was like doing his hands like this. I don't know. I think I sent it to him because it was so cute. He was so sweet with him. Like, he was so patient. And then Cannon wrote all these questions before to prepare for his interview. And then he was really interested in what Bix was telling him. Bix was telling him like really great information. He's so kind and loving. And so then Cannon was like really interested. He's like, well, wait a minute. So where do you find all this silver? And I don't know where Westwood went, but anyway, I'm sure he's listening. And then Bix was asked, and so Cannon just kept asking him all these other questions. It was really cool. I think it's going to be really cool. So I'm going to try to get like at least a picture of Cannon and Bix to put on his science fair project.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
For part of it. And then Cannon was all excited because he's like, Mom, we can use Bix's quote as our exordium. And I was like, okay. And then I had to go look up exordium because I forgot that from 3 weeks ago. So it's like a quote or a question. It's a way you open your essay. I forgot that part. Anyway, Cannon reminded me.
My exordium.
I forgot. Anyway. Learning. Yes.
Forgotten more than I've ever learned.
I forgot. Yes. Oh, another Westwood quote. I forgot more than I ever learned.
Totally.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys my JFK. Hold on, I keep forgetting. Vladimir Putin declares that a New World Order is dead after Trump's historic victory. Blah, blah, blah. There was an amphibian thing, though. Oh, Japan officially names COVID most deadly drug in the history of humankind. I think that is significant. And I know that may get me banned or whatever, but I think it's important to tell people the truth. So this is Japan's opinion, not mine, but Japan made a stunning declaration, and they have labeled that COVID jab the most deadly drug in the history of medicine. And this should hopefully trigger some accountability. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Also FEMA, there was a leak of a document from somebody inside FEMA that said that they refused helping people with Trump signs. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if you can see that.
Is that the new press secretary, or are we just getting trolled?
What?
You see that? Alex Jones says, "Yes, I accept the nomination to be press secretary for Donald Trump."
Oh,
Alex
no
Jones
way.
put out a tweet.
Surely
funny.
not. Oh, this is huge though.
I mean, you know,
They are going after all of the NGOs that have been getting
non-governmental organizations.
Yes. And a lot of them are religious organizations that have been getting millions and millions of dollars for shipping individuals, a lot of short people. And they are challenging to like hold them accountable for a lot of them being missing, all of that. When that stuff comes down, like that to me plays right in hand with Cliff's data of like breaking all that, like messing with people's minds. Like they did what? I thought we believed what, and we've been paying for what, and you knew they were missing and where they were going, and like that will mess with some people's minds. I don't think people will be able to unpack that.
No, I mean, when you look at there's a lot of money that got created and spent on a lot of things. And then you think, oh, but I still have a mortgage and I still have all this debt that, you guys have roped me into and promised me things. And, I still have to pay it back.
I don't even think they'll care about that. Like for me, it's not even about my debt or whatever. If I think I'm going to church every week and giving my 10% like a good little Christian, because I believe that that's saving my soul because God told me so. And then I find out that that money is being used to traffic children.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Talk about yeah.
That will not end.
But you're saying my indulgence doesn't count? I can't get a ticket to ride? What happened? I spent all this money.
It's one thing to forgive your pastor for diddling the secretary. It's another thing to find out that your money is being used to traffic children.
Yeah.
Like that will not end well. People will sue their own churches. They will, because they don't want their karma to be associated with that. Like that's horrible. I mean,
all that missionary work you were doing was not what I thought it was.
How many times did you fly to Honduras and Haiti and paint that church? What were they doing in between then? What? Yeah. I mean, there's
a lot of corruption.
There's a lot of corruption.
There's a lot of corruption that needs to be unwound. Now's the time to do it. I mean, this is the last dance. I mean, this is it. I mean, it needs to happen now. I mean, all the tools are in place, all the levers can be pulled. Now is the time to do it. And a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, if it doesn't happen, yeah, see Westwood on fire, baby.
So another Uncle Cliff's data, there was a event around, and he said maybe it was going to be Colorado, but it was like a swooping in. And then, do you remember that about the swooping in and then the thing up? And this was the Z Army, which I followed. Like the Z resonates to me. And then of course, JFK Jr. has like the Z with the dagger on his arm, which was the picture I showed you guys earlier. But these are the amphibious, like Pepe, the frog thing. This posted from USS OCOM this posted the Green Berets from the Army's Z amphibious. Notice the lightning and the white horse. Do you guys remember the white horse video that was running down the street or whatever? And it had like the blood on it and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for King Chuck
Yep.
in England and London.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are still so tied with all that stuff. Anyway, there's lightning everywhere. So then we recently had the Ghost Army, the U.S. Army just recently posted information. There you go, your little lightning bolt. The lightning, it's all about the lightning, which is another tie with Litecoin.
There's energy.
There's a
There's
and
all this untapped energy in lightning. I mean, all the positive things that it can do if you can capture it, and all the destructive things that can happen. Because it's so powerful, and there's all the energies out there. It's how do we harness it? How do we use it? How do we capture it and use it? And direct it correctly. And that's, I guess, where we're at. I mean, directing the energy into the right, and focusing it into the right place at this point, because it's all out there. You got the energy. All of us have energy. Focus it into the right things. That is really what it comes down to. Be the lightning and focus.
Yes.
Direct it.
Anyway, I just think there's like all these there's, I can't tie it all together, but I just want to share it with you guys. I think a lot of you guys in the chat are also like, have intuitiveness. You can resonate with that. And
Light warriors.
Yes, warriors, fellow warriors. I think you guys can put some of these things together as well. And so if you have some there's like, post some comments, tell me what you're thinking. But like all this lightning, white horse, the Z Army Z amphibious raiding squadron, they completed the culminating event in the Joint Special Forces Advanced Urban Combat Course in Colorado. Just saying. Oh man, I'm just loving all of it. I'm loving.
You're talking about tattoos. I was thinking about that today because I don't have any tattoos, and I thought maybe I'd get your name tattooed on my forearm or something.
That's probably a bad idea.
I'd put your name.
Oh, your name.
Your name. That's what I'm thinking. Because you see all these people, they tattoo, their girlfriends and boyfriends on their arm. It's like, why don't you just put like your name? See, I got your name tattooed on there. Your name. Yeah. You can't go wrong. I got your name tattooed on my body, babe. It's your name.
That is such a smart ass thing to do.
I know it is.
Like that.
But if I got a tattoo, it'd be something like that.
I would never do something like that.
Yeah, I would never get a tattoo, I don't think. Unless I got branded, after a night of serious obliviation.
I wanted to get a tattoo for a long time. After my sister passed.
Yeah.
Because we have like this whole bee thing with me and my mom and my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to get like an infinity bee wing thing. But my ex like forbid it because he said my body was his and
verboten.
Weird possessive crap.
Right.
And so then when I got divorced, I was like, haha, now I'm going to do it.
I'll show you.
And then I was sitting in the tattoo place and I had a good friend call me and they were like, oh my gosh, get out of there. Run, leave right now, leave, get out because you are doing that out of vengeance or out of spite. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm doing it for my sister. And they're like, no, you're not, because you're
right. You're reacting to a situation and you're not like directing your energy towards something you want.
Regret that you did it.
Revenge tattoos.
Yes. You will regret that you did that because you're, as much as you love your sister, like you did it as a like, F you, I can now do it.
Right.
And I'm so glad that I didn't, even though like I want to honor my sister and I love my sister and all that, but like the time wasn't right to do that. And so like always understand like where you are in life in the moment and don't take it. And that's right now, like we're in a very highly emotional point of life. The election just happened. People's emotions are very high. people are taking action because of like, well, I feel empowered because of this, or up yours, I'm very angry because of that, And they always say, like, when you've had a loss or something tragic happen or something really positive, like, don't make big moves or whatever. And so it's just a really good idea to like kind of take a step back and kind of, let's take like life-changing decisions in a place of calm. So anyway, maybe that's helpful.
No, I agree with that. I mean, don't make rash decisions. Don't be, think that you're.
Tattoos are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen great artwork. I mean, it's art. I mean, if it's done correctly.
Yeah. Actually, both of our daughters have, our two oldest daughters have beautiful tattoos, and they're really beautiful, but it just wasn't the right time. And Charlie and I've talked about it. We're like, what do we do that? I think our generation was like on the cusp of it. And then our kids all went like all in. And then now we're just like, we didn't. And now we're kind of over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. I'm just, I mean,
I get a Sharpie and like write on myself for a weekend.
Yeah. I mean, just like a little kid, you write all this stuff on there and that'll wash off, but it's fine eventually. Fine. Yeah. I
don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just like Warrior said, they're addictive, and that's what everybody said that gets them. They want more. They want more. They want to get another one. They get another one. Next thing, you get a sleeve and all the way up and on the back and all these things. And I'm just like, I don't want to pay somebody to put me in pain. I really don't want to do that. I'm let the government do that. They do that, all the time. And it's like, no, I'm paying already to be in pain. And it's like, I don't need to pay somebody else with what's left over, like the 20% that's left over after it's been taken from me, to make that decision. It's like, I'd rather buy $70 Litecoin. Honestly, that's what I'd rather do. Buy some whiskey, cigars, and get the dogs groomed. Not me,
but it
the
can
dogs.
be very cathartic. Like Warrior saying, tattoos tell my life story. Like, it is a beautiful way to, a lot of people will say like, this is part of my life story or my journey. A lot of people use it for therapy or healing.
And if it works for you, do it. I mean, that's the thing. Follow your path. I mean, but do it if it's your path and not a reaction to something else. Do it because you want to do it. Not the boomerang effect kind of thing. And so it's absolutely. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Just so not my thing.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right. So I told you guys about the Walmart thing. I knew I needed to remember that. Oh man. Oh my God.
So I mean, let's talk a little bit of crypto, and then we can kind of wrap it up.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, you're looking at, what do we see? Bitcoin hit like $77,000, I think it was this week after the election.
Something about it. I'm kind of bored by
it. No, and I know. And I mean, it's just, it's falling into place. I mean, when you look at these 4-year cycles, I mean, it always happens after the presidential election because, you've got the uncertainty out of the way. And, with the halving, less supply coming online, it catches up. And it seems like clockwork, this is what happens all the time. And so here we are in this window to where if that's what you've got your energy into, I think those things are going to do very well in the next 6 to 8 months. And I think by the end of the year, I think we definitely will. And I've seen language coming across, Cliff's talked about his $100,000 Bitcoin parties. I've seen language to where you see some headlines, Bitcoin could hit $100,000 before the presidential inauguration. And so you're starting to see that language spill out now. And not just hyper speculation, in reality, to where, that could happen. And I said that, earlier this year, to where I think this is the year. And we're only like, what, I don't know how many weeks left in the year, 5, 8, 9 weeks left in the year. I think you're going to see that language leading up to the end of the year, $100,000 Bitcoin parties and people getting excited again. And you'll see retail coming back in, and everybody's, all the BlackRock and all these ETFs, there's all these billions are going into Bitcoin all the time. And I think you're going to see that now. I don't want to give any advice. I just want you to, maybe pay attention to, the underdog, over here. Let's put the underdog in the screen. Maybe pay attention to that because that's something that actually works on a daily basis. It doesn't cost you a lot of money to transfer. I saw somebody today post, wait a minute, I'm trying to send like $9 and it cost me $90 to send it on the Bitcoin network today. And I don't know if that's the case today, but I mean, that's legit. I've seen that many times to where, it's okay if you got a lot of it, and you're only making a purchase once in a while and you need to use it. But man, on the daily, yeah, I'm a Litecoin guy. And that's the way it is. I mean, I want something I can use on a daily basis, as sound money peer to peer. And so if you haven't looked into it, maybe look into it. Just saying.
Good advice.
Yeah.
I'm sharing some information. Benny was asking if the Republicans had actually won the House or not. Apparently, there are still 13 uncalled races to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like in their favor, but we shall
right. Maybe a couple votes here and there.
a little funny business.
Yeah. No, I think they will.
We'll see.
The thing is, though, I like divided government in a way because I like gridlock, because I don't like the fact that I don't want somebody to have complete control. I don't want that monarchy type situation to where it's just, rubber stamp it and get it done. So I'm always kind of a gridlock guy, but I'm willing to give it 4 years, give them the reins and say, hey, get it done. If you don't get it done, I'm done.
We'll see.
Yep. Anyway.
Good stuff, though.
I guess we'll do a spaces, huh?
I think we should do a spaces. There's still good stuff happening. There's still a lot of stuff happening. I think I am most excited that you had me zoom in, to be honest.
Yeah, that picture. Look at it. There's a lot going on. And I didn't look at all of it, but I mean,
I did not realize he was holding 2 coins.
Right.
Um,
Here's the thing. I look at it and then you see my first thing was, why was the picture taken? I mean, there's got to be some symbolism to it.
It's always for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason for it. They don't just do this stuff, I mean, there's a reason for it. There's messaging going on, just like Dan Scavino. There's messaging to all these pictures. And so my first thought was, what's the sign say? And it says, no cameras, no devices, no electronic devices. So immediately it's like, okay, obviously there is a reason for this picture to be taken. There's something to be gained and something to be gleaned from this. Because the picture was taken.
And this little shield on the back. Also, remember the that's Giorgio. That's what beach club is that? That's the
That's probably Mar-a-Lago there, right?
No.
No?
This is no, it's not Margaret. It's
I
no,
assumed it was, but I don't know.
No, it's it's the famous one from like the 80s, whatever. I just sold a beach bag from there. God. Giorgio
Armani?
It's not Armani.
No.
It's the I just sold a beach bag from there.
Marauder?
No, it's like Giorgio. You remember everybody was wearing that perfume like in the late 80s.
Yeah, Giorgio. It's like the yellow and white.
Giorgio.
But
it's also opposite of, it's yellow and white stripe, not blue and white stripe like you know what?
Yeah, like the little temple on the island.
Not like the little temple on the island. Yeah.
I got you.
It's also golden.
Right.
Like
Again, there's a theme, because we're talking about the golden age of America, and then here you got yellow back there. Trump's always been the gold guy. He said gold everywhere.
Yeah, I can't zoom any bigger, but a lot of us that have gold and silver coins, about the size of this is. That's a silver dollar, and that is a little 10 ounce, or not 10 ounce, sorry, 1/10 of an ounce gold piece. That's a 1 ounce and that's a 1/10 ounce in Trump's hand.
Yeah, so he's holding like a slabbed, graded coin. It looks like, I mean,
Yeah.
or is it an electronic device? I don't know. It looks like a little coin in a slab.
No,
I mean,
those are coins.
right, and so it's like, what's the backstory on this? What is the coin? What's he showing? You know, what is on it? And I mean, there's so many things here going on, so many threads going on, that it's you know, how do we unwind it?
You're so funny.
Yeah.
You will not do that.
I mean, I mean, it's there for a reason. I mean, you know, and so I'm just like, what's the reason? What's the symbolism? Because, you know, symbolism is everything. And it's just important.
What's in
to
his
really,
hand? A shirt that has something that says DO something.
start decoding it. All you anons out there, decode it. What is it?
Okay, here's the other thing. I cannot remember because I can't remember as much as I've forgotten. These palm trees, there's a thing about the palm trees. And that takes me back to Beatles. Back when Beatles was doing videos, there's something about the palm trees. And I can't remember. Dang it. This is where I wish Public was still doing videos with me.
And then I look back there to the right of the child's head. Is that like a ziggurat? Is that like the you know, like the Washington Monument type thing? I mean, what is that? And it's like, I'm looking at all
on
these
the
things.
wall. I don't know. There's one
No, in the background. I know outside. See that tower, or that is that a pillar? Or what is that thing?
This
Yeah, to the left more. That stone structure. Like
this?
it like, you know, 2 o'clock from the kid's head outside.
Okay, this is a child.
Up in the sky. Yeah, that thing. What's that? What's that?
Oh, probably a giant ISIS.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, what is it? You know, and let's look at the image, because, you know, it was put out there for a reason, for, you know, us to look at and glean something from.
Even that.
What is it?
I just want to know what this crest is. But that may be the Giorgio crest.
Yeah, what is that? I mean, I'm just
It
curious
looks like
about
3
all this stuff, because, you know, again, it was included in the frame for a reason. It could have been a different angle, but all that stuff is in there, because you think of the Elon post, you know, when he had the caffeine-free Diet Coke and he had this little thing and he had a handgun. I mean, you know, there's symbolism of this stuff, and let's decode this. What are we talking about? So that's all I'm
Oh
saying.
my God, Warrior. Are you serious? Sending you all our love. I had no idea.
Ugh.
We love you. We love you. We love you. Everybody, please send lots of love and light and prayers to our friend Warrior. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the small coin maybe is silver and the graded coin is gold. I would think the reverse. I would think the big one is silver and the small one is gold. But I don't know. We'll see.
I know, I'm just bringing it up. That could be a show unto itself. All right.
All right.
There it is.
Well, why don't we
take a little pause and then do a little spaces action?
Yeah. And everybody, a lot of us are in, if you're not in Telegram, you can join Telegram in the link below, and you can send Warrior a message, send him some hugs and positive energy there. If you're in the, if you have connection with him, send him a message there and let him know that you care for him, and some positive energy, because we are definitely fam here, and we all care about each other, and that's what we're here for. And we just want to love and support, and we want to be a positive, uplifting community to each other. And so I'm so glad that he chose to be here with us tonight, and we want to continue to be a positive, encouraging, happy place for him, and a place for him to have like a warm, happy place tonight. So we're going to continue to be that for him. And we will see you guys all on Spaces. So send him a big hug. And
We all
let him
need
know-
comfort and big hugs. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yes. And go through the portal and do not coddle the angry. Like, embrace people that are looking for positive change and people that have questions and that are respectful. See, he wants to go Spaces. So, like, embrace people looking for change and positivity and kindness and love. But you don't have to meet people at the door with anger and self-righteousness and negativity. Like, you don't owe anybody anything. So, you guys make sure to have your boundaries. I love you all. Westwood, what do you think?
as do I. Trust yourself.
There you go. You guys heard it here. We'll see you there. Take care. Follow Westwood. Go to clintwestwood.net and follow _ Clint Westwood _.